Ooh, flashback. No, cutscene.
My grandfather was obsessed with shadows. He wanted to harness their power and create something extraordinary.
Harness their power?
He assembled a team of scientists, and over several years collected a significant number of shadows.
He what? Damn, that's freaking crazy!
However, 10 years ago, during the final stages of the experiment, they lost control of the shadow's power. Consequently, the nature of the world was altered.
Okay.
Yes, Tartarus and the Dark Hour. By their account, the mass of shadows they collected split into several large ones that then dispersed.
So, we've established something here. Like, the Dark Hour and Tartarus were created, but shadows existed beforehand. And people could catch them? Wait, what? Okay. Okay. Hold the phone right here. Shadows existed beforehand. They collected shadows. Since we know that shadows and personas are directly related, that pretty much says that as far back as human history as possible, there have existed both shadows and persona users. And since we know that 4 and 5, Persona 4 and Persona 5, also exist in the same universe in some respects, like, just going by the lore here, that opens the door to the potential of a Persona game set back in the past, almost. Hell, we know that shadows have the ability to alter space-time. You could theoretically have a Persona game where you have a user from the modern era interacting with the past. I mean, sure, like, that would be a really weird idea, but there's the potential setup right there. Persona users across time. I mean, it's definitely something of a big jump, considering that 5 was meant to be a globe-trotting adventure at some point. You could have a game set across 2 different time periods. And you could do theming with that, because, let's see, Persona 3's overall theme is about death and the finality of things and grief and regret. Persona 4 is about feeling trapped or typecast, as well as, in a sense, rumors. Persona 5, with its thievery aspect, is about rebellion. So there's potential for a time-related one, feeling trapped in the past, the repetition of mistakes, and trying to break out of the cycle. So there's definitely, like, something that you could do with that. God, that also leaves the question, normal people can see shadows, and they manage to collect them together, so the larger ones, as they know them, the bosses of this game, the full moon bosses, are artificial beings.
These are the shadows we've been encountering on nights when the moon is full.
Is that why they've appeared in different places? Wait a minute. If what you said is true, then why did our school turn into Tartarus?
Because it was the central point of the explosion, so likely it's the center of the distortion.
Don't tell me.
You suspect that there's a giant shadow at the top of it.
That's where they conducted the experiment?
Oh, yeah, no. Wow, I'm getting ahead of even Yukari's thought process. It's like, the explosion happened! An explosion happened! Wow. I'm ahead of the game as far as the kids are concerned.
Yes.
Then those students who were hospitalized.
I'm afraid it's just as you're thinking. Port Island must have been an ideal location for them. It was a highly populated area, and the Kirijo Group had influence there. They could do as they pleased. As you guessed, the experiment 10 years ago was conducted at Gekukan High School.
Does that mean all we've been doing is cleaning up their mess? You lied to us?
Cleaning up their mess? I mean, you could argue that, but also, that's a matter of perspective. Should the Kirijo Group be held responsible for, well, I mean, they did cause it, but we're not employed by them. For the most part, each of us came here in some way given the option to do something about this supernatural phenomena and said yes. So, I don't know, that's a hard one to pull a line on.
You knew too, didn't you, Senpai? They've just been using us. Or do you not care as long as you get to fight?
Oh my god, Yukari. Okay, so what then? So what? You're just going to walk away from it all and let things continue as they are? Knowing that the Dark Hour exists? Knowing that there's the apathy syndrome problem? Is that your stance? Because you've seen the good that happens from what we do, so your argument is kind of flawed here. You just want to point the finger and blame people. Yes, we should have known about this. Yes. I can't get my freaking tongue around it at the moment. The Kirijo Group is to blame and should in some way be held responsible, but at the same time, they kind of are. The facility blew up. The only reason you're all so mad about it, Yukari, is because you lost your parents, or your dad specifically, in some way related to the Kirijo Group. I don't remember. I don't even know if I've actually seen that part of the game or anything in relation to it, but it's like, you just want to be mad at the moment. Like, step back and look at the situation. God, you're blinded with anger and frustration and pain.
That's not true.
Okay, where are you going with this, Akihiko?
I have my reasons.
Oh, right, no, yeah. We know about this.
Think what you'd like. It was my decision not to share that information. I'm sorry. I never intended to deceive you. Convincing you to join Seas was my highest priority.
And so this information wasn't convincing? Or counterproductive? I'm not entirely sure either way on that, but...
As absurd as it may seem, only we, with our personas, can fight the shadows.
So then how did they catch them? Okay, that's a really weird question now that's going to bug me. How did they catch shadows if they didn't have oh wait. No, we know how. I forgot about someone. Okay, never mind. Putting that point to the side for now.
How could you?
Besides, some of us were never given a choice.
Mitsuru, don't.
Yukari, it's those in the past who are to blame. And they lost their lives as a result of what they did. We're all in the same boat here. None of us deserve the burden that's been thrust upon us.
Ikutsuki? Damn it, I know what you do. I know where the story goes and everything, and it's just like... Ah.
But...
It's been 10 years since that incident. No one knows why those shadows suddenly returned.
Okay, that's another plot point that will get resolved later too.
But since they're active, at least we can find and destroy them.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that was his thing as well.
Do you realize what this means? What if I told you that those 12 shadows are the cause of everything?
Then if we defeat them all, Tartarus and the Dark Hour will disappear?
Exactly. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. See, it's good news, isn't it?
Is that true?
This is an assumption, but with the facts that have been presented, it's a strong assumption.
There's evidence to support it. Now, our true battle begins.
Evidence to no! What evidence? So far, by beating one of the bosses, we've been able to progress further into Tartarus. It's not like Tartarus has diminished or anything, or the Dark Hour has begun to shrink. Hell, we're able to survive longer in it, so in any case, it's actually growing in length, a perspective of how long we're there. So, I feel as though this evidence doesn't exist.
Regardless of what's happened in the past, we must fight to protect the people. The shadows are gaining strength. We can't afford to just wait for them.
You know, it's weird, but nearly every game, the adults, unless they're like a parental figure or a teacher and have a major role in the story, you should never trust them.
And there are many mysteries still surrounding Tartarus. Why did such a gigantic structure appear in the first place? The answer must lie within it.
Also, who named it? Did you just know? Somebody had to name it. Okay. A bunch of philosophical questions for later. Right now, we're going to go do something. Like, play a quiz game. Because I got sidetracked in that, like, rant. And the whole conversation of just, like, shadows, the reality of everything. This is a good game. I will not lie that I'm not having fun. We finally got to smart. Good. We needed to do that. Thank God. Okay, now we can get top score. We're gonna study. We only just made the cut. Now I just need to make sure that I get the exam questions right. Okay, July exam questions. I'm going to review them. I'm not going to look at them while I do them, but I will look at them ahead of time.